New Zealand is one of those countries that everyone wants to visit but hardly anyone actually does it. The island nation that is larger than the UK is located 2,000 kilometers east of Australia and astonishing 9,000 kilometers west of Chile. Moreover, more than 18,000 kilometers separate New Zealand from the British Isles. Although the flag of the UK is featured on the flag of New Zealand, there are no direct flights between London and its former colony. This island nation used to top the list of countries by GDP per capita 1 century ago, but unlike many other major exporters of agricultural produce that used to be rich back then, New Zealand maintains top positions. New Zealanders are still richer than Frenchmen and many other affluent European nations. 26 million sheep and only 5 million people live in New Zealand. In 1982, the ratio was even more mind-blowing: 17 million sheep and 3 million people. Wool produced in New Zealand is thicker compared to Australian wool due to the climate, which makes New Zealand wool ideal for carpets and blankets. Just take a look at the fascinating sceneries that are dispersed throughout this amazing island nation. Can you imagine how many great pastures there are? It is not surprising that exports of agricultural goods still stand behind the tremendous wealth and high living standards that Kiwis enjoy. By the way, Kiwi is one of the rare examples of geographic labels that is not considered offensive. Hence, if you happen to have friends from New Zealand, do not hesitate to call them Kiwis. Just take a look at the Royal New Zealand Air Force Rondo. This helps explain how important this nickname is for New Zealanders. New Zealand is the only rich nation that still heavily relies on exports of primary commodities. Although exports of dairy products, wool, fruits and food continue to underpin the nation's prosperity, only 7% of the population work in agriculture, while 83% of New Zealanders now live in cities. This happens because of the continuous mass migration from rural areas to large urban centers, concentrated in the northern part of the country. Auckland is the largest city with a population of 1.5 million people. The next largest city has a population of less than 400,000 people. 36% of the population in New Zealand have completed tertiary education, compared to 54% in Canada. At the same time, New Zealanders have historically been entrepreneurial, and the nation itself is business-oriented. It is not surprising that the country has the highest ease of doing business index in the world. Numerous migrants that continue to arrive from England, Asia and Polynesia are attracted not only to high salaries, business opportunities and natural beauty. New Zealand has historically been one of the freest and equal societies. To give you just two examples, New Zealand was the first nation in the world to grant all women the right to vote in distant 1893 and guarantee a minimum wage just 1 year later. New Zealand's astonishing wealth that is distributed relatively evenly between just 5 million people could not have been accommodated without numerous free trade agreements. The country currently has free trade agreements with most nations in the Asia-Pacific region, as well as Canada, Mexico, Peru and Chile. It makes New Zealand one of the most globalized economies in the world, which, alongside positive aspects, also means that fluctuations in prices for a few commodities can seriously affect the nation's economy. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and recommend the topic for next video in the comment section.